Yo, I appreciate y'all watching. This is Worldwide Classic. I'm Southside Tre. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Full Time Digital House. And follow me on IG, Southside_Tre. Ultimately, it was a couple things that was needed. Just a couple, maybe a few. And I feel like the WWE should bring back Swerve Strickland. I feel like they should bring back Jon Moxley. And most importantly, I think they should finally get MJF. And I know that's a big task. I know that's going to be a big thing to do. So it's a hypothetical. Like I say, it's Worldwide Classic. It's just a hypothetical situation. But if I had to play doctor and just fix that, just put something together that I feel like will put everything back on track, I legitimately think that those three guys are really all that we need, at least for right now. MJF is obvious, I'm pretty sure. All of us as wrestling fans, we know what MJF brings to the table, and we know he money every time. So we know what we gonna get with MJF. And it would be a treat as a professional wrestling fan to see him in the WWE at some point. And I hope that is the case. So I'm pretty sure that we will see him there eventually. So I am looking forward to that at some point. But as you noticed, I mentioned bringing back Swerve Strickland and Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose, he's one of my favorite wrestlers. I'm a Shield guy, and he was my guy from the Shield. So when I'm discussing Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley, it's coming from a true fan, because I really felt like Dean Ambrose could have been on top of the WWE as a heel. I felt like he could have dominated WWE as a heel, and I was really surprised when they ultimately couldn't keep him in the company. Because ironically, what he's doing now at AEW is exactly the vision. Well, it's not exactly, but it's similar to the vision that I would have him in WWE, in that role that he's in now. With Maria Shavir, I believe her name is, like she does great. And then as you seen in my last video, I talked about the rest of the group, so I'm not even gonna get into that again. The fact that he already has the history there could play a huge part in the role and the character that we use when we bring Jon Moxley, aka Ambrose, back. I'm gonna just call him Ambrose for the sake of this show. So if we bring Ambrose back, I feel like that immediately could fix everything, especially in this role. And the reason I say that, it's a lot of reasons, but I'll just say off the top, just Roman Reigns. We've never got that dynamic before. We've never got a true confrontation between Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. They had their first world championship match against each other at Survivor Series. I can't remember the year, but they had like a tournament or something. The title was vacant, and they had a tournament leading into Survivor Series or something like that. And Ambrose and Reigns was in the finals. And I actually enjoyed that match. It was a short match, but I actually enjoyed it because they never had been on bad terms. And even till now, like on camera, we've never seen them on bad terms. And even behind the scenes, I think Seth Rollins alluded to the point that Reigns and Ambrose are like best friends. So to be able to get that confrontation finally on WWE TV, especially that, you know, it's just been so much time apart, I feel like Ambrose has even grown. I think things that went on in the WWE probably hinder him mentally, because I understand how shit like that go. Certain work environments and certain situations, you know, it can mess up your thought process. It can throw you off track. And I felt like he suffered from that a little bit, because he was always good in AEW, but his current run is actually my favorite run of Jon Moxley, aka Ambrose, in AEW. This is actually my favorite version of Ambrose, because he's always been this way. I think Ambrose could be just a dangerous and a vicious wrestler, and that's the perfect heel. You know, his promos are always on fire. He always kill it on the mic, period. Like, I've never seen a time where he didn't kill it on the mic. The sad part is he just haven't been able to kill it the way he really can. Like, he hasn't really been able to unleash. And I know part of him is frustrated by that. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm a true fan of Ambrose. I know he really want to say some shit and do some things that we haven't seen before. And I'm pretty sure both companies are kind of holding that back. But there's ways to do it. And I hope that Triple H, being in charge of creative at WWE, I hope that one day we could get Ambrose back over there. WWE needs to go back and plead and grovel and beg. Like, let me just keep it real. I don't even know why I'm trying to sugarcoat it. Like, WWE needs to get on their hands and knees and go to Dean Ambrose and his wife. They need to do anything possible to get both of those individuals back in WWE, not even just Dean Ambrose. And I usually don't speak on like other people's wives and stuff like that, just as a man. So I was only bringing her up, you know, because she was with WWE as well. And she did a great job in WWE. So I think she always could be utilized heavily in that company. So again, I think WWE will have to go beg both of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, do what they need to do to get that man back there. I think Ambrose back in WWE can be money. Now, we know the booking suffers, so it's contingent on that also. But if somehow by the grace of the wrestling gods, we could get decent writers by the time we get Ambrose back in the WWE, I know that gonna be on fire. I know it'll be on fire, and he has to be a heel. There's no other way. Even with that in WWE, I don't know why they always tried to make him out to be the baby face, or they wanted him to be like a Matt Riddle character. Again, for my true fans that follow, like, you know, it's almost like they wanted him to be in the format of a Matt Riddle. And Matt Riddle was a great wrestler, but again, it's like sometimes we overdo the silliness. We overdo the dumb shit, you know what I'm saying? It needs to be a fine line. DX was good at that, having that fine line between comedy and competition. So again, that's why when I do mention Triple H and being confused at some of the choices, this is not just to take shots. Like, I respect what Triple H has done, and I know he has the mind for it. So as a true fan, I'm really just asking, like, what's going on? Like what's really happening as a true fan? Like, I know you better than that. I know you're more capable of that. I would love to see Ambrose back, but we not even doing comedy. We just getting straight to the violence. You know, he's talented enough where he can add elements in it. I think Jon Moxley is underrated, for real. I'm not speaking like in-ring, and I'm not saying his in-ring work is bad, but I'm just speaking character-wise, like the way I used to look at Randy Orton. And that's no knock on Randy Orton. I'm just like, he know what it is. He's winding down his career. You know, he's doing a different version of his character, but the Randy Orton that we all know and love is the Legend Killer. Was one of the most ruthless superstars in the business. We're trying not to deviate from the point too much. So Ambrose just has that viciousness where he could restore that feeling that Randy left. I feel like he could push the boundary more than what we even realize he can. I feel like he just hasn't been capable for whatever reason. Maybe just the boundaries of both companies, or maybe just not seeing eye to eye. If Triple H is really on top of his game, I think him and Dean Ambrose, I think they could make magic on screen and in the ring. I think they could come up with some pretty creative things. But
do you have to ask permission from your father-in-law first?
And no, we don't need to revisit the Shield. This needs to be completely separate from the Shield. I gotta just mention that, because again, we talking about WWE, and all they like to do is recycle. So no Shield business. If we get Ambrose and Roman Reigns, you know, we still ain't even gotta talk about the Shield that much then. It's a whole different time. It's a whole different thing going on. That could be part of the story. We not even talking about the Shield. We talking about now. Jon Moxley could have a match with anybody over there at the WWE right now. He could have a match with anybody, and it'll all feel organic and new. Even certain people that he might have had wrestled in the past. And that's another reason why I feel like Dean Ambrose has to come back to the WWE, and he'll be the perfect addition. He'll be the perfect villain for any character. Because that's one thing about each one of the three guys that I'm mentioning. Each one of these guys that I'm going to mention in this segment, they can have chemistry with all the wrestlers. So they're not just three random guys that I'm just throwing out there. I've looked at this from every angle, and a lot of wrestlers don't have that. I don't even know what it is. I guess it's the it factor. A lot of wrestlers don't have the it factor, and that means that they can have chemistry with any other wrestler. Sometimes wrestlers' characters just don't match, so it makes the match irrelevant. It makes the match cancel itself out. So character chemistry is vital. Is vital in professional wrestling. So only special wrestlers have characters where they could feud with everybody. And it feels like a big match. It feels like a big feud. And Dean Ambrose has that ability. And the fact that it's a lot of new people in the WWE, it's a lot of new wrestlers in the company, he'll be perfect to come in and have fresh matches. which he didn't have the luxury of that the last time he was in WWE, because he had been there for 10 years and he damn near wrestled everybody. Now it's a bunch of fresh talent, and even the people he have been in the ring with, enough time has passed to make those rematches special again. So the second person on my list is Swerve Strickland. I feel like Swerve Strickland needs to come on back home to the WWE. Again, just another guy that was underrated. Swerve Strickland has always just been an underrated wrestler. And it's weird because I'm not going to get into the race thing right now. It's too soon. Because I feel like sometimes that plays a factor. But, and not because of the fans, but again, how it's booked. Because I feel like nobody in these companies really know how to book black athletes. And it's a shame because it's not like it's some type of secret antidote to do it. But they just don't, I guess they just don't understand certain nuances of like how a black character should be presented on screen. So they immediately gave Swerve Strickland the rapper gimmick. You know what I'm saying? The group hit roll, and see what I'm saying? Like it's doomed from the start because it's a stereotype. With that being said, shout out to AEW for finding that balance and figuring out a way to get Swerve Strickland the recognition he deserves. AEW gets a lot of criticism from a lot of people. I'm not here to tear one company down or another. I just love professional wrestling, so I want to see it done right. So I'm just mad at whoever's fucking it up, and I'm happy with whoever's fixing it. So with that being said, AEW has its moments where it's doing a solid contribution to the world of professional wrestling. And whether people don't like the company or not, I feel like it'll be foolish to try to deny that. AEW has done things to contribute to the world of professional wrestling, and Swerve Strickland is one of them. Because I feel like if it wasn't for AEW, we wouldn't collectively see Swerve Strickland as a top star in professional wrestling. Like, let's just call it what it is. As good as he is, AEW was able to flip that switch and present it the right way. Cause you know, I could be petty and get into the whole dance and cone on that, but I'm not even gonna do that because it worked. You know what I'm saying? And it was cool for the time. You know what I'm saying? But now we don't even need to keep doing that. Prince Nana, shout out to him. We ain't even got to keep, you know, dancing and carrying on. Swerve has proven himself to be a vicious man, you know, to be a dominant competitor. So we ain't even got to keep playing with the dancing gimmick anymore. We just need to get to business. But with that being said, again, Swerve Strickland has really shown his worth at AEW. And I appreciate everybody over there at AEW for being able to present him that way. For me, that means something as a true fan. And he's been killing it, in my opinion. Like, ever since that Adam Hangman Page feud, everything just clicked from there. Because even when they put those two together in the feud, I was like, yeah, that could work. You know what I'm saying? Like, that really could work. That's some nice booking right there. Because shout out to Hangman Adam Page. You know, he gets a lot of criticism as well, but I actually think he's a good wrestler and a good character. So I think he's underrated. But again, it's just because of the limitations that these guys have with the people that book the shows. Both companies have the talent. AEW and WWE have the talent. It just, I guess, takes some out of the box thinking for those guys to utilize everybody effectively. And that's why I get so pissed talking about it, because it just seems so basic. Like, you got all of these talents, just put everybody in the ring with everybody at some point. Like, what is we doing? Like, why is we making this so complicated than what it is? Just put everybody in the ring with somebody and let's see who has the best chemistry. Let's see who gets the organic crowd reactions. Swerve Strickland, the same thing applies that I mentioned with Jon Moxley. His character can have chemistry with every wrestler on the roster. Swerve Strickland not only has the in-ring ability, but now the character is at a perfect place where he could just feud with anybody. It doesn't have to be personal feuds, like just about literally anything. And that's rare. That's an ability that we don't talk about a lot, because as I mentioned with Jon Moxley, it's a such thing as character chemistry, as I like to call it. And the characters have to have chemistry. Not the people, they don't have to like each other personally, but the characters that they're presenting for the product, they have to have the chemistry. And a lot of times these characters just don't, like, it gives off a corny vibe. It gives off a lame vibe when you put certain wrestlers against each other. Swerve Strickland, I feel like, has established this aura about him where now it feels like a big match now, if that makes any sense. Special wrestlers have that where they make matches feel like big matches. And Swerve Strickland, I feel like, has elevated to that degree. And again, one more time, shout out to Hangman Adam Page, because I feel like that was the feud that did that. I feel like Adam Page was so good that he really emphasized that to the viewing audience, that Swerve Strickland is a very serious competitor. So I love the momentum since then. So he would be perfect back in WWE right now, because you could literally put him in a match with anybody. From Seth Rollins to Roman Reigns, of course, the top guys. You could get him in the ring with Dominic Mysterio. Shout out to Dominic. We already know he's a star in the making. If not now, just imagine getting a feud with Swerve and Dom. Like Swerve could really pull off a feud with any wrestler you put him in the ring with. The same thing as I alluded to with Jon Moxley earlier. We not talking world title matches and this, that, and the third. Again, I'll leave that to the powers to be. But even if you wanted to talk titles, Swerve Strickland is more than capable, and he's shown that as an AEW World Heavyweight Champion. He's shown that he could carry the big title. So I would love to see it, but it don't even have to be about titles. All I know is he will come back into the WWE and give them a fresh look with every wrestler they have on the roster. And when you think about it, that's all you can ask for in that world. Being able to make money and being able to make good matches and memorable moments. And Swerve Strickland has evolved into a character that can pull the best out of other characters. So shout out to Swerve Strickland. I know he recently had a interview on Vlad TV. I didn't watch it. I really didn't get into it yet, but I'm gonna have to check it out. But me just being a true fan of it, I don't even have to watch that to know that I'm pretty sure it's some bad blood between Swerve and WWE. So this scenario that I'm speaking of may not ever happen, but I wish it could happen. The same thing I said with Jon Moxley, they need to go over there and they need to go apologize to Swerve Strickland. WWE needs to go give Swerve Strickland the same Jon Moxley treatment that I mentioned earlier. They need to go on hands and knees and say sorry and beg for forgiveness to get this man back over there. Because I don't know the whole story, but I know enough to know he wasn't given that shot, or he wasn't given that vote of confidence to just rock the way he needed to rock. But it don't even matter whose fault it is. It would just be cool to see Swerve Strickland back in WWE and being one of the stars in that company. So last but not least on my list, this is somebody that hasn't been in WWE yet, is MJF. I feel like that's obvious though, right? If you're a true wrestling fan, you already know what MJF is capable of. We already know what MJF is capable of, and we know how good he is in character and in the ring. So I think that's a no-brainer. But I still had to bring it up because it's a possibility that could happen at some point, and I hope it does. Just like Jon Moxley, just like Swerve Strickland, MJF could have a match with anybody in the WWE. His character will fit with anybody over there. He's already proven that in AEW. He hasn't just been one of their top stars in AEW. He's proven that he could have good feuds with any wrestler. It's a lot of guys that I feel like could take his career to the next level. Him having feuds with those guys. Because even now, every time a guy from WWE goes over to AEW, that's one of the first things they do is they put MJF in a feud with them. So we already see how it goes. We see that he can stand toe-to-toe with anybody that the WWE has. So it would be cool as a wrestling fan to see MJF be over there in real time and see him have feuds with literally everybody. The thing about MJF is he's really where he needs to be at character-wise. Like a lot of guys still have to evolve and, you know, like figure certain things out about the character. I guess it's like MJF says about himself. He's a generational talent. And he's one of those rare competitors where it just clicks with everybody. It just clicks. And then in the ring as well, because sometimes the character is just strong. But he's actually good inside the ring as well. And not only just him having new matches with guys over there in WWE, but for all of the that goes on with WWE, WWE is still the premier wrestling company. It's still at the top of the mountain. And maybe it's silly, but it's something about WWE TV that when you see matches and feuds or promos or just whatever, any type of content you see come across WWE TV, it just feels like a big event. Like it feels like a real part of history, if that make any sense. Because that's part of the reason that I fell in love with professional wrestling so much, is because again, WWE has set a tone where it really does feel like a big event when it's done right. And when certain competitors perform for WWE, it just feels like the big leagues. It's for the world to see now. And now that WWE has a partnership with Netflix, like you could take that literally now. Like the world can see it now. So, but even besides viewership, it's just something about it. Like I can't explain it. Like how I alluded to Jon Moxley earlier, Dean Ambrose. To me, even though I feel like this is his best version of his character at AEW, to me, I feel like if he comes to WWE with the same character, it'd just feel 10 times more important though. It's just a certain stature that comes with WWE TV, and things just look and feel a little bit different when it comes across WWE television. So back to MJF, so MJF being a part of WWE, it'd just feel 10 times more important than everything he's doing over there at AEW. And that's no disrespect to AEW, because when he's on their television, it feels like the big league. So that's a credit to what he's doing over there. But if he comes to the WWE, again, him along with the other two guys that I mentioned, him along with Jon Moxley and Swerve Strickland, MJF is the third guy. He would complete my list of the 3 people that the WWE needs back right now. Like they need to somehow go pull off the trade of the century. They need to get them people over there right now. When we tune in to next Monday Night Raw, somehow Jon Moxley needs to be there. You know what I mean? Like for me at this point, somehow Dean Ambrose needs to be back. We need something drastic to happen like that. And it's about time, man. It's about time. That's why I spoke about Jon Moxley first. It's time. It's about that time, man. He served his sentence. Like whatever weird going on, he served his time. It's time to get back over to WWE, but y'all can't be playing with the pen. Perfect that pen. Y'all playing with people's careers. Y'all got stars over there now in the WWE, but y'all playing with the pen. Perfect the pen. You can watch Worldwide Classic. You can listen to Southside Tre. We ain't got to tell nobody. You know what I'm saying? It'll be our little secret. Y'all can take some notes from me if y'all need to. That way y'all ain't got to pay me. Y'all can be slick. You know what I mean? That'll be our little secret. Or holler at me, because there's plenty more where that came from. Yo, I appreciate y'all watching. This is Worldwide Classic. I'm Southside Tre. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Full Time Digital House. And follow me on IG, Southside_Tre. I'll holler at y'all later. Appreciate y'all, man.